Sixth graders, we're here reading Granted, and I am really loving this book, and I'm so glad that Sam found Ophelia. I mean, it's kind of a miracle, but he did. And we're starting on page 183, the last paragraph on page 183, chapter 29. Ophelia could barely believe it. This mongrel, who she just met in an alleyway only a couple of talks ago, who owed her nothing really except maybe half a donut, had tracked her all the way and swum out to the middle of the pond to rescue her. Ophelia stood up, her uniform sopping, one hand shooting to her neck to make sure the vial was still there. She pulled it from under her wet shirt and inspected it. The dust still swirled and danced inside. Not a drop of water had gotten in. She carefully tucked it back in and then brushed back the damp blue locks hanging in her face. She shivered where she stood, her skin clammy, the cold reaching down to her bones, but she was alive and in one piece. The dog looked at her and whimpered. "Are you okay?" Ophelia opened both of her arms and took a step toward him. Sam flinched, something he'd undoubtedly learned from his master. "It's all right, Sam," she said. She moved close and wrapped both arms around his neck, burying her face into the patch of wet fur where a name tag on a collar would sit, feeling his skin much warmer than hers on her cheek. "My hero." "Oh," Sam said. Ophelia squeezed him even tighter. While you're there, if you could just..." Ophelia reached up and started to scratch behind Sam's ear. And when Sam let out a long, low grunt of satisfaction, she smiled, even as his butt rose up into the air, his tail swishing about, flicking pond water everywhere. "Oh, yes, that is it exactly." But Ophelia tuned him out. Her scratching slowed and then stopped altogether. She stood there, pressed tight to Sam's chest, her hands clutching clumps of wet fur, listening to the voice in the wind. Kasara's voice. "And make it purple." The sound was stronger than it had been since she'd lost track of it at the diner. The hawk must have taken her in the same direction as the man in the white car. Judging by how clear Kasara's voice was ringing, they had to be close. "Do you hear that?" Ophelia asked. But of course, Sam couldn't, though it didn't stop him from perking his ears. "It's the wish," she explained. "It's nearby. We need to hurry." She stepped back and took Sam's muzzle in both hands, his wiry whiskers shooting between her fingers. "Do you still want to play chase?" "Do I have to chase any more birds?" he asked. Ophelia shook her head. "I certainly hope not," she said. "Will there be more donuts?" Ophelia shrugged. "I can't make any promises, but I do know that I can't possibly do it without you." Sam looked at her hopefully, expectantly. "Does this mean we're friends?" Ophelia reached up and gave him another hug, pressing her face close to his perpetually itchy ear. She told him that was exactly what it meant. Chapter 30, page 186. Serendipity. Serendipity was the name of the coffee shop on the 147th floor of Grant Tower. Fairies were fond of giving their shops such names. The tailor shop's was called So It Goes. The bakery near Ophelia's cottage was called Fortune's Cookies. The vendor 4 doors down was called Destiny's Market, though that was because Destiny Daffodil Pincher ran the place, not because one was destined to eat her candied fruits and nuts, though they were pretty good. It was cleverness, mostly. Fairies being ironic about the fact that they could shape their fortunes and the fates of others, but most of the time preferred to just sit around in the woods, drink coffee, eat cookies, and shoot the breeze. The Haven was a truly magical place. As she sat up on Sam's back, hoping the wind might dry her uniform faster, though her behind, planted on Sam's wet fur, was never going to get dry, Sophia couldn't help but wonder if a little serendipity hadn't come her way, lifting her up out of that tree and depositing her so much closer to Kasara's coin. Except there was nothing serendipitous about a hawk hoping to have you for dinner. And she wasn't saved by fortune, fate, or good luck. She was saved by a stray dog, one who now trotted pompously along, prancing like a show pony with his head high, gurring softly to himself the whole time in a kind of a sing-song voice. Oh, I am Sam, and I'm a hero. I saved a thief from the pond. She can't swim, so I saved her. That makes me very, very, very awesome. Oh, I am Sam, and I am a hero. I saved Ophia from the pond. She can't swim, so I saved her. That makes me very, 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 very Sam, Ophia said. Very, 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 very Sam, Ophia said again, leaning close to his ears. Very, 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 very Sam, Ophia shouted and tugged hard on a fistful of fur. Sam yelped and twisted his head to give her a look. What was that for? Part of it, admittedly, was to get him to shut up, but most of it was because they were back on the streets again. They crossed through a meadow beside the pond where she fell, then circled around a fence that skirted a neighborhood of identical-looking houses. And here they were back on cement, looking at a paved road and a string of shops directly across from it. And oh so close. There was no doubt in Ophia's mind now. The wish spoke loud enough that she no longer had to concentrate to hear it, even over Sam's singing. She pointed to the row of buildings across the way. There, she said. Maybe the man in the striped shirt was in one of them, or maybe he'd handed the nickel off to someone else. Either way, she had traced it here. We need to cross the street. But Sam was already one step ahead of her, running down the grassy embankment and right out into the road. Heedless of the cars that barreled toward them, Ophia gripped hard with her legs and tried to dig her way under his fur for fear of falling, but they made it across with only 2 volleys of honks and one car slamming on its brakes. Get out of the road, you mangy mutt, the man who had to stop shouted from his window. But Sam paid little attention, leaping across a ditch and galloping into the parking lot. Ophia scanned the rows of cars until she found exactly what she was looking for. The boxy white turtle with the rusty doors. The same one that had sprayed her with the blue stuff and then catapulted her onto that oncoming truck. It was parked right outside the biggest building in the strip. Super Pet, Sophia muttered, reading the red-lettered sign with the black paw print beside it. Super Pet, Sam echoed. Wow, that sounds terrific. I want to be super petted. I don't think that's what it means, Sophia said, squinting, trying to spy through the tinted windows of the storefront. I think it means that animals are super. Oh, yes, me too. I am super, he began to sing again. I am Sam, and I'm a hero. I saved. No, it's just the name of the store, Ophia interrupted. They possibly sell food and supplies for dogs and cats and things. Donuts? Sam wondered. Not donuts, Sophia guessed. And I don't think it would be a good idea if you went in. She was actually certain of it. The humans inside would take one look at Sam and immediately recognize him as a stray. No collar, no tags, scratched up and dopey-eyed and in sore need of a bath. She wasn't sure what would happen then, but she guessed they would be separated. Besides, she added, This part requires stealth and subterfuge. And while you are an excellent chaser and swimmer, I'm not sure you can be subtle. Oh, I am very subtle, Sam barked. What's subtle? Subtle is not darting out into the street without looking for cars. Subtle is not growling at everything that moves. Subtle is definitely not sniffing other creatures' butts. Sam looked disappointed. His big eyes seemed to sag. Althea got an idea. But that's all right, because you have an even more important job to do. I need you to stand guard. Oh, yes, Sam said eagerly, tail suddenly wagging again. I am a very good guard dog. Do you want me to bark if someone goes in? No, that won't be necessary, Althea said. Oh, okay. Do you want me to bark when somebody comes out? No, you don't need to do that either. Oh, okay, Sam said. He seemed confused. So what am I doing again? I need you to wait close to the door, maybe by those bushes over there, Althea said, pointing. And if you see a man with blue pants and a striped shirt come out, and I'm right behind him doing this, Althea started jumping up and down, pointing dramatically and mouthing the words, get him. That means I need you to keep the man from getting into his car. Oh, I see, Sam said. Should I bite him? No. Just scare him a little. But what if he scares me back? Sam asked. Althea could see it in his eyes. Sam had some memories that ran long and deep. She reached over and put a hand on his muzzle. I know how brave you are, she said, but if anybody ever tries to hurt you, you run. She stroked the scruff of Sam's chin. I won't be long at all, promise. Get in, get the nickel, get out. She could perform the ritual after, when she met back up with Sam. Generally, you weren't supposed to invite an audience, even if that audience was a dog. But it wouldn't hurt Sam to see that sometimes wishes could come true. Okay, Sam started barking. I will be brave because I am Sam and I am a hero. I saved Althea from the Sam? Yes, not subtle, she said. Oh, okay. Following her pointing finger, Sam trotted over and slunk down among the bushes, while Althea furtively made her way across the parking lot, hiding behind tires and crouching beside curbs. When she was certain there was nobody around, she stood in front of the sliding glass doors leading to the pet supply store. She'd seen these kinds of doors before. Humans simply walked toward them and they opened. Magic, but not really. I'm going to stop there on page 191 and begin there at the bottom of the page tomorrow. Thank you so much, 6th grade. Hope you're doing well, and take care of yourselves, okay? Bye now.